All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 147-pound division where Errol Spence Jr. has his first face-off with Terence Bud Crawford, and we get a little bit of visibility into what is going to happen in the fight. We've also got a lot of talk from Terence Crawford in different interviews, so I want to share with you my opinion of it. The first and foremost, though, Errol Spence Jr. says to Terence Crawford dead in his face, when I get in that ring, I am stepping. And I anticipate that Terence Crawford is going to be stepping too. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And definitely check out the other videos that we have on the channel. We have a lot of really great content, a lot of really good boxing conversations. So join the crew, man. Check out more than one video. But let's get into this. And thank you to everybody that supports in the live streams that we do pretty much every day, where we talk about all things boxing. The big fight is here. We have now seen both of them in an interview with Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. You now know for sure that this fight is taking place, barring some type of injury or something like that, taking place in camp, or some positive drug test or something like that taking place in camp. We're going to get this fight. And I have to tell you, man, when I've been watching the moods of the two guys and checking out what they've been saying. The first thing Errol Spence Jr. says in an irritated fashion to Stephen A. Smith is he was asked about all these great fights and all of that stuff, and Errol Spence Jr. cut to the chase and said, this fight is as good as any of those fights. As good as Alexis Arguello and Aaron Pryor, as good as Hagler and Hagler. I think he compared it to Hagler. Leonard was one that he mentioned and said, no, this fight is every bit as good as them. We know that we are the best we're the two best fighters in this division. And when I get in the ring, I'm stepping to Terence Crawford right away. And Terence Crawford, I expect him to do the same thing. What I've gotten out of Terence Crawford was Terence Crawford to say it's interesting, man, because it's like, just slightly, Terence Crawford is being a little bit more Hollywood than Errol Spence Jr. is being, in my personal opinion. He has, I don't know if it is the fight, his experience that he had filming Creed and being in that acting role, but the way that he was answering questions and some of the things that he's saying just seemed to me to be like he's putting a little bit of extra polish on it and really not showing the true essence of his personality. He said some things about Errol Spence and Errol Spence's fight against Kell Brook. He said that on a different interview, and I did a video about it, but in short, what he said was that he compared his win to Kell Brook's win and basically explained why he thought his win against Kell Brook was better than Errol Spence Jr.'s win against Kell Brook, even though it just doesn't make sense. Kell Brook fight with Terence Crawford was 3 years later, and after two broken orbital bones, not one, and he had not fought in that weight class for 3 years and came back down. So it seems to me as if Errol Spence Jr. is very, very respectful of the abilities of Terence Crawford and has not downplayed what Terence Crawford has done or his ability in the ring very much. Now, he may have in past times, though I don't really recall it. Every time Errol Spence Jr. talks about Terence Crawford, he basically says that he thinks he's a great fighter. He always puts on great performances. He's a top-level fighter. He just says that I'm going to beat him, and he says it's going to be a one-sided ASS whooping. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, seems to be somebody that is paying less respect to to Errol Spence Jr., then Errol Spence Jr. is playing to him. And there very well could be a case of, maybe he's underrating him a little bit, because I don't think that Terence Crawford is just making it up, that he believes these things. He's been consistent in what he said. But I don't know, man, and here's the problem this is the problem for Terence Crawford going into this fight, is that despite what Terence Crawford says about the quality of his opposition, it's just not true. Over the last, 4 years or so that he has been in the welterweight division, he has not been in there against anybody that really could fight back. And going almost half a decade since you've been in the ring with anybody that can fight back, most definitely can cause you problems when you get into a fight with somebody that is going to fight back, especially if somebody is going to step to you, go at you with 100% knowledge of how good you are and how much respect you and respect for your skills, but is going in there to beat you up. And just like Floyd Mayweather Jr. has said at a point, look, man, some of these guys you're not going to be able to outthink. He said this to Devin Haney. You're not going to be able to outthink these guys. Some of these guys you're going to have to fight. You're just going to have to fight. And Errol going in there and pushing that with Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. has the highest likelihood of anybody that Terence Crawford's ever fought to just make him fight. So I am really, really excited about this fight. I think personally that it'll go to the distance. And when it goes to the distance, I expect Errol Spence Jr. to get the decision, because Errol Spence Jr. is just somebody that puts out a lot more punches, puts out a lot bigger work rate. And while Terence Crawford is more cerebral and is trying to take his time to figure out the other fighter, go slowly and try to figure it out. But at the same time, when Terence Crawford gets hit, Terence Crawford throws hands back. But he has become, over the last 4 years or so, more of a one-shot artist. And the question is similar to when Gervonta Davis fought Ryan Garcia. Hey, man, what happens? What happens when that one shot's not there? What happens if you don't land that? If you don't land that and you got a guy that's looking to land a lot and not looking for that one shot, then hey man, I got to go with the guy that's gonna have more volume, that is gonna push harder. Now you also got the little bit of the age thing going on, where Terence Crawford is pushing 36 years old. People that think that I don't know whether or not Terence Crawford is going to be able to move laterally and stay out of range and move for 12 rounds against Errol Spence, especially with Errol Spence being able to cut off the ring so well and not really being open very much to shots at distance. He usually gets hit when he's in mid-range, up close, trying to do work. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.